Mortgage is a term, and as a term, it means different things depending on the circumstances you are using it. Okay. A mortgage, properly defined or properly looked at, is a situation where someone needs a home, a property. He wants to invest, he wants to own a home, but he does not have the total sum of money required to buy or to own such a property as at the time of need. Rather than wait 10 years, 15 years when you're able to accumulate sum of money to own the home, you can engage an institution who has homes or houses. Say, purpose of this conversation, the home is 10 million. The youth does not have 10 million, but it can spread this 10 million over a 30-year period, over a 25-year period. That makes it easy for such a youth to own the home. What that does for the youth is that instead of paying renters, that means getting a rent apartment where he's paying renter, that renter is paying can be converted to owning his own house. So that's a mortgage properly looked at. A facilitation or a policy or an engagement which allowed those who otherwise would not be able to own a house to own a home. Okay. Now, the contrast of that is when you go to a bank or a lending institution and you want to take a loan, and part of the requirement will say we want a collateral, that a mortgage collateral, which means I have a home, I want to do a project, so the bank will require me to provide the documentation for my home to collateralize such a loan. That becomes a mortgage. The bank will call it mortgage collateral. So it's distinct from owning a home. They are two different things. Incidentally, I think because we've not been in the field of making houses available through mortgage facilities, so many people who have heard about mortgage in the past relate it essentially to mortgage with respect to taking a loan in the bank. And I think that's probably where the concept of people running away from mortgage, or when they hear the mortgage, it has a negative connotation. Ideally, mortgage should by no means be negative at all. It's indeed positive. Like I've mentioned earlier, it has multiplier effect for the economy where it is practiced. Any youth who has an eye for a future, for his well-being, and he has opportunity to get involved in a mortgage transaction, my advice that he should jump at it. He should not only just take it, he should jump at it, because it's going to transform his life in many ways. One of the first things, when you have a mortgage, depending on the documentation, you already have something which you can use, assuming you want to start a business, depending how much you have paid. You can use that as a collateral to get loan facility from bank and start your business. If you also play on the international scene and you say, okay, at the age of 22, I already own a home, it distinguishes you from your peer. Okay. Again, if for purpose of equity participation in an adventure, you can provide that as part of your equity if you're working with other partners, and that becomes a basis for the bank granting you facility which otherwise you will not be able to do. So there are a lot of multiplier effects that the youth can get from it. But more than that, rather than the youth spend their money buying what I call perishable goods or luxurious items, such money can be engaged or can be used to own a home, which will, of course, don't forget also, we also have capital appreciation, because when you own a home today, after a number of years, of course, it's going to increase depending on the economy. Whereas if you if you use the same amount of money in perishable goods or luxury item, they are not likely going to appreciate. Say a young boy who buys a tire for 14,000 or 15,000, that will give you capital appreciation, as opposed to you pay 15,000 every month on your mortgage facility. Over time, you have a lot of benefit from engaging in such activity. So in my view, it's good for the youth to be involved if they are really keen about their future. That's what I would say.
We need to build less expensive houses.
Home ownership is a right. It's not a privilege.
I heard you say the Federal Housing Authority is facing some challenges. What do you mean by that? Can you highlight a few?
Government must repeat what it's doing in agriculture, in the area of housing.
Looking at the Nigerian housing sector, what do you think are the challenges facing the sector?
My take-home money, but whatever they give is 18,000 plus. So how do I get money to pay for the house? And you say it's houses for civil servants?
Housing Development is a weekly program that focuses on the housing sector, be it mortgage, rental, properties for sale, interior decor, real estate. We've got all the information on this program.